I never imagined that HOA Karen would escalate to breaking into my house. But that afternoon, as I was finishing some repairs in the garage, my security cameras picked up movement near the front door, and to my shock, there she was, using what appeared to be a duplicate key or perhaps a master key she had somehow obtained, turning the doorknob and attempting to enter my home while muttering about enforcing community regulations regarding lawn maintenance, exterior color schemes, and property presentation. I immediately grabbed my phone to record the encounter and called the local sheriff while cautiously approaching the door, and as she pushed against the door, claiming she had authority to inspect the interior, I stepped fully into view and identified myself, stating that she was trespassing and that any unauthorized entry into my home was a criminal act, but she ignored me and tried to argue that as an HOA board member she had rights that extended into private residences, which, of course, was completely false. I kept the camera rolling as she fumbled with the lock, clearly unaware that the entire porch area was under surveillance, and I calmly informed her that her actions were being documented, that she could be arrested for burglary, and that the HOA had no legal jurisdiction to authorize entry into my private home. But she continued to insist she was protecting the neighborhood from aesthetic violations and that she was within her rights, at which point I reminded her that any attempt to forcibly enter would result in immediate legal consequences including criminal charges, civil liability, and permanent removal from the HOA, and she finally paused, clearly realizing she had miscalculated the situation. Just then, the sheriff arrived, and after assessing the situation and reviewing the security footage, he informed Karen that she was being detained for attempted trespass and unauthorized entry, and she began to sputter and try to argue, claiming she had board authority and that I was overreacting, but the deputies were unimpressed and escorted her to the patrol car while reading her rights. I provided a full statement, including the video from my doorbell camera, motion detectors, and interior security system, documenting her attempts to break in, as well as records of all prior HOA complaints and overreach incidents she had engaged in, which created a comprehensive paper trail showing her pattern of harassment. And within hours, the HOA board was forced to acknowledge that she had acted completely independently, issuing a formal notice that she was removed from any committee positions, barred from entering residence property without explicit invitation, and warned that any further violations would result in legal action. And as she was driven away, muttering threats about legal recourse and rebuilding her reputation, I ensured all footage was backed up to multiple secure drives, notified neighbors to be vigilant, and added additional locks and reinforced security systems on all entrances, knowing that HOA Karen had finally overstepped so far that she could no longer claim authority over anyone's property. And the incident became a cautionary tale throughout the community, reminding everyone that no self-appointed enforcer could override the law, property deeds, or basic common sense, leaving me secure, vindicated, and fully prepared should she ever attempt such an intrusion again.